Welcome to The Good Side, a half hour of positive, feel-good, smile-on-your-face stories that'll leave you inspired, told by a team of passionate journalists from local newsrooms all across the country. They're the friendliest bunch in town, but their mission is serious. They're saving lives. With every kind word and every connection, this team is chipping away at America's loneliness epidemic. Plus, in order to be it, you gotta see it. We'll take you inside a school providing stability for students grappling with homelessness.
The teacher who taught me, she's the best teacher I ever had.
And later, he's celebrating his 99th birthday at the roller rink, of course. It's the place he met his wife and got his life back. The Good Side starts right now. Hey there, I'm Debra Alfarone. I want to introduce you to a group dedicated to helping people feel they belong, because we all do. We just may not feel it sometimes. This group is friendly and fun, and they're helping save lives, and they always have room for recruits.
Connect with each other.
Walk down this Washington, D.C. street, and you can't miss the smiles, bubbles, and good vibes of this small but mighty crew.
Thank you.
But these cheery volunteers have a serious mission.
We know right now that 1 in 2 American adults say that they experience loneliness. And I think to myself, what issue affects literally 50% of American adults? Like, what other issue affects half of us?
Becca Bernstein is Chief Community and Operations Officer for Belong Center, a nationwide nonprofit with the mission to end the loneliness epidemic and literally save lives.
Social disconnection leads to increase in stroke, increase in heart disease, increase in depression, even increase in death. I think a lot of people think of loneliness and belonging as these sort of fluffy, nice-to-have issues. These aren't nice-to-have issues. These are at the crux of our health and our well-being and our humanity.
We sat in as Becca led a group of volunteers in what's called a Social Connection Core activation. They're getting ready to go out and perform what's called Rascals, or random acts of social connection and love. One team hopped on public transit, handed out these connection cards, and created community through a game of Pictionary. The other team hit the streets, engaging people and also handing out those connection cards. Sure, some kept walking, but more often than not, people took the cards. Some shared.
Because they have a minimum amount of family there. I am the only one in the District of Columbia. I miss the ones who are further away. And sometimes I feel lonely.
Becca says life transitions, breakups, divorce, deaths, moving to a new city can leave people feeling like they don't belong. But it can take just one person to create a ripple effect.
My way of making the world a better place. I mean, there's so much going on in the world, and sometimes we feel insignificant.
Even if walking around, handing out cards isn't your thing, Becca says there are ways you can connect with others in your community through your own rascals. Visit your elderly neighbor, call an old friend. Your small action could change a life.
I think right now it's really easy to get overwhelmed by the world and to say nothing I do makes a difference, or to feel paralyzed or feel apathetic. We had someone in our community who bought someone a coffee in line. The guy immediately got tears in his eyes and he said, you know, my dad's in the hospital. It's almost like you knew, but I didn't think anyone cared. But in this moment, I feel like someone cares.
That caring could change a life or even save one. The nonprofit holds Belong Circles across the country. If you can't make it, but you want to perform a rascal, they have an easy way you can do it yourself on their website. The organization was started by the founder of Daybreaker, a global dance movement. Well, finding the right barber or hairstylist can make a huge difference in how we see ourselves. Some are sharpening their skills to focus on mental health. The Good Side's Alexis Dominguez shows us how a barbershop in Arizona is focusing past the perfect cut.
Inside barbershops, there are all kinds of sounds. And if you listen closely, you'll find it can also be a place where conversations flow.
I haven't been to Spain, but I hear Spain's really nice. Because we have smaller rooms, I feel like it provides an area where they can be more vulnerable, it's more private.
I think it'll grow out nicely.
That privacy allows for conversations to go deeper.
Our relationship, I would say, is really, sounds weird, but intimate, because I know a lot of their lives, you know. For some reason, they feel like really comfortable to express everything they're going through.
How are you, man? What's up, man? What's going on? Good to see you. Good to see you.
That's the case for Dave Rocca, who has been sitting in Brandy Beña's chair as a customer for more than a year.
We all have outlets, whether it's at home, friends, or work, just another person to talk with.
I've been passionate about just having close relationships, even outside of barbering with people and just trying to hear where they're at. I went through mental health things in the past.
Numbers show men are more than 3 times more likely to commit suicide.
Mental health has always been an issue, but since COVID, it's been elevated.
That's part of the reason why both Tempe and Chandler have partnered with the Confess Project, a national organization addressing mental health.
There's always been stigma, and so we can't continue the same ways addressing it. We have to look outside of the box.
We got to go on a walk together, chat it up.
The training helps these barbers identify the signs from depression to suicidal thoughts, so they not only know how to listen, but how to respond.
It's tough to hear sometimes because you really care for the customer. It feels good when you have the resources that you need to help them.
Pablo Andrian and Peña will be 2 of the nearly 30 barbers and stylists trained in Arizona to be a safe place. But it's something they've been doing since the shop opened in 2020.
I know with some people that we've talked to, they even said like that our conversations and referrals have helped save their life.
It just brings me like so much joy to know that we have that relationship with our clients and we could hopefully make their day a little bit brighter.
What a wonderful group of barbers. Next on The Good Side, we know that dogs can be a person's best friend, but for one brave little girl, a new friendship won't just make her smile. It could keep her safe.
I woke her up and I said, Kimber, Boone is finally born.
How teamwork created a bond like no other. You're watching The Good Side. We'll be right back. Welcome back to The Good Side. If you have a dog, hello, or you've even ever met a dog, you know they are way more than just your best friend. In this next story, a special friendship between a sweet pup and a strong young lady may prove to be life-saving. Their unbreakable bond is possible thanks to the generosity of friends and neighbors and an organization more than 1,000 miles from her home. The Good Side's Karen McKay shows us why a family's wait was worth it.
Oh, man, y'all are quick.
Kimber is no ordinary 4-year-old. She was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes nearly 2 years ago. Since then, she has been tied to syringes, glucose monitors, patches, and all sorts of gadgets to keep her alive.
And so little things like going to grandma's house and getting a cookie is no longer just, here, have a cookie. You know, you have to think about where she's at, what she's doing.
This reads her blood sugar.
Okay.
And it talks to the pump and tells how much insulin or when to suspend insulin. And then both of those talk to her monitor.
And all those blood sugar levels are then sent to mom and dad's phone.
I mean, we don't get much sleep as it is. It's, you know, you're waiting for that next alarm to go off.
But now, help is on the way.
I woke her up and I said, Kimber, Boone is finally born.
Boone is what she named the diabetic service dog that could easily save her life.
Oh man, it gives me goosebumps. My husband and I just are so blessed to be able to do this for people.
Bowen Elite trains diabetes service dogs for kids and adults. The training process takes 14 months, teaching the dog to react to saliva samples from Kimber.
They can smell when their blood sugar changes through their saliva and through their pores in their body.
It will smell that her scent has changed and come and alert us, either pawing us or even at night jumping on the bed.
Perhaps the biggest surprise is not that this training is expensive.
Good boy, yes, found it!
But how quickly the pals raised that money.
Tonight, a family from Plains is asking
after a first story aired on News Channel 11 and was shared through social media nearly 200 times.
And by the following week, we had fully met our goal, which was $32,000.
The pals don't know which puppy in this litter will be theirs, but they posted the announcement that Boone is in there waiting to meet Kimber.
And it probably has over 1 million views, and they're probably just Kimber watching it over and over and over.
In the meantime, Kimber has named this dog Ben. And for the first time in 2 years, the pals are breathing a sigh of relief.
It's the power of community. Well, at every hospital, there are teams behind the scenes who work hard to help keep you healthy, but many more are needed across the country. The Good Side's Caroline Hecker shows us how a program in Missouri dedicated to helping people with intellectual and developmental disabilities is filling those jobs and fulfilling dreams.
Walking the halls of Barnes Jewish West County Hospital is one of its many unsung heroes. Preston Brule isn't a doctor or a nurse, but his role is a vital one. Preston is a member of the Environmental Services team. His job, to keep the hospital and its patient rooms clean.
I never had a full-time job before, so it's kind of an accomplishment for me to have a job where I can do things and make money to pay for things and things I need to do.
Preston is a graduate of the Boone Center, an organization that helps people with disabilities find fulfilling careers. In partnership with BJC, he's helping to fill a workforce shortage made worse by the COVID-19 pandemic.
I like working here because I feel like I'm doing a good part in helping keep the area clean and people from getting sick.
He's picked up countless skills, including how to fold the perfect hospital corners. And he's doing it alongside Maggie Wolf. Hi! The hospital's chief nursing officer, who happened to work at Children's Hospital in the very NICU where Preston spent time as a baby.
Here was this tiny little baby fighting a very big battle. And here he is today, working with me by my side, watching him as he's thriving.
Preston works full-time, bringing home a paycheck he's proud of, now offering the help he was once on the receiving end of.
I feel like I'm helping other people that might need it, like they helped me when I was growing up.
And next on the Good Side, breaking barriers on the soccer field.
And just seeing the parents smiling because they're seeing their kid having fun, being out with other kids their age, kids that look like them. You'd be surprised how far that goes.
A coach teams up with a mother and father whose son put his whole heart into the game, how his light lives on. You're watching The Good Side. Welcome back to The Good Side. They've got moves, but these young soccer players may have never set foot at practice if it weren't for the family of Braden Deal. Tragedy cut the soccer player's life short, but Braden's dream is living on through hundreds of other kids. A nonprofit soccer program named after him is helping kids get into competitive sports, even though the expenses may be out of reach.
What did soccer mean to him? Oh my gosh. So soccer was his life, his passion. Every day, he would play every day if he could.
The parents of Braden Deal, a standout soccer star from Northern Virginia, are sharing their story for the first time. It was May 2023 when their 18-year-old son was killed in a double homicide.
How do you want Braden to be remembered?
I hope he's remembered for his passion about the game of soccer, but also for his generosity and how much he would help others.
And that brings us to this gym and this man, Anis Merzi.
Big guy, big guy.
Why did you want to name a program after Braden Deal?
When I was speaking with the family, I was just emotionally touched.
Merzi founded a nonprofit called 703 Warriors, naming it after Northern Virginia's area code. And he's naming its soccer program after Braden Deal. It gives kids a chance to play competitive soccer who wouldn't otherwise be able to afford it.
And just seeing the parents smiling because they're seeing their kid having fun, being out with other kids their age, kids that look like them. You'd be surprised how far that goes.
Merzi says these kids likely couldn't afford the thousands of dollars it costs to play competitively. He says 85% qualify for free or discounted lunch at school. He says he sees himself in the players.
Sports changed your life.
It did. It opened doors that I wouldn't have.
Merzy says football opened the door for him to attend West Point, and West Point gave him the leadership skills to serve 10 years in the Army and now serve his community, using soccer as a starting point.
Alex, go with Coach.
How does soccer improve these kids' lives?
You're learning grit, resilience, teamwork, things that you could argue are taught at like maybe the recreational level, but it's different when there's higher stakes on the line. Everyone is there to win. These are things that I think directly translate to how the real world works.
These kids now have opportunities they may not have been able to have before. And I think Braden would be absolutely thrilled.
Merzy is putting out the call to you. Yes, you. He wants leaders in other area codes across the country to lead local chapters using 703's blueprint.
For it to really have an impact, you want to deploy this model locally across the U.S.
Helping Braden to duplicate what he did in life, now, after his death, have his teams back.
And he's still showing up in this program.
He is. We walked into the practice the other day and they all had his name on the back of their shirts. It was the best thing that I've seen in a long time.
Jason, what are you doing?
And Braden's family established a memorial fund in his name. They donated part of the money to his school and the other part to 703 Warriors. Well, a school in Atlanta wants its students to know no matter where you come from, you can go far. And as the good sides, Sawyer Bussey shows us, it's giving them the schools to back up their big dreams.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
Okay. I want to be a police officer. I think I want to be a teacher because I think it'll be fun because the teacher who teaches me, she's the best teacher I ever had.
I want to become a doctor when I grow up. The students who go to Boyce L. Ansley School are only those who are experiencing or have experienced homelessness. That's a lot for anyone to deal with, let alone a child.
It also looks like making sure that from a learning standpoint, we can move kiddos from survival brain, which is what they typically come to us with, to actual deep learning brain.
The more barriers students have, the more they have to break through to become things like doctors and police officers. The Ansley School tells me they are trying to change the narrative, break down barriers so students can be who they set out to be. They are a private school funded solely by donations, K through 5 right now, with plans to go through 8th grade. Their students live in 24 different zip codes.
It's what I like to call hard work. But also from an extended learning standpoint, which is a lot of my background, we focus deeply on making sure that our kiddos get exposure to everything.
Families don't have to worry about school pickups and drop-offs. Their children have at least 2 meals a day, not including snacks. Their kids are in a safe place with therapy. I'm told case managers work with families on housing and workforce development, so life is easier on the kids.
A ninja. I want to be a detective and a gamer.
I want to be a basketball player.
I want to be a veterinarian.
The school believes kids need to see all kinds of people in all kinds of careers in order to get to the mountaintops they're pointing to.
What a beautiful program. And to another program, this one in Vermont. It is on course to help women pilot their own path. In the next few years, more and more pilots are expected to retire, and someone's going to need to step up to fill those roles.
When I started, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and I just kind of wasn't really sure of myself. Now I'm just sure of everything I do.
We are the first that we can find in aviation history to have an all-female team building a plane together.
Yeah, you heard that right. Head to this hangar at Franklin County State Airport. You'll hear a buzz of activity. It's called Habitat for Aviation, and it connects young women with professionals in aviation, teaching them all aspects of the industry, but that does include, you heard that there, how to build a plane. Yes. Beth White started the apprenticeship program in 2022 after a nearly year-long battle with breast cancer. Drawing on her own strength, she made it her goal to help other women build community and confidence.
We are trying to take individuals who love to work with their hands, who love to solve problems, and give them the opportunity to experiment, to practice. In that way is we're elevating respect for the trades.
One mentor in the program goes by the nickname Granny. She says the group is building more than an airplane, they're building a family. Well, next on The Good Side, can roller skates turn back time? Meet the man who marked a milestone birthday at his favorite rink and managed to wow the crowd too. You're watching The Good Side. We'll be right back. Welcome back to The Good Side. If you're of a certain age, you may have celebrated some birthdays at your local roller skating rink. Don't worry, I won't tell. But at one party in North Carolina, there would not have been enough room for all the candles on the cake, nor all the great grandkids. The Good Side's Ron Lee explains.
Skating's been in my life. Most of us don't get a reserved parking spot in the front row or just about anywhere you want to go. But for Gene Elliott, it's no ordinary day.
So great to see you again.
Gene is back here at Skateland USA in Newton, a place he's been coming for decades, and the signs of his history at this rink are evident even before you walk in the front door.
This was my 89th birthday right here.
But if you think Gene's just here for the atmosphere and won't lace up, then you don't know Gene.
You want to skate to fit very snug.
Gene has been skating since the age of 5, back when Calvin Coolidge was in office. And if you're keeping track, that was 17 presidents ago. He even met his wife, Mary Lee, of 57 years at a roller rink. But according to Gene, it wasn't love at first sight.
And one of the girls asked Mary Lee, said, why don't you like Gene? And she says, he's too big of a show-off. A year later, we were married.
When the dark times came in 2006 and Gene lost his wife, he said it was his love of skating that brought him back.
I had so much fun, I kept skating, and I've been here ever since.
Before his wife passed, they had 2 children, and his children had children, and their children had children, and their children had children, and their children had children. In all, 5 generations were here to celebrate on his special day. So many, it's sometimes hard to keep track of them all.
Hell yeah, it's like there's a Justin and a Jason and 2 Coys and all these different names. It's a big family.
All of whom share Gene's love of skating. But Gene doesn't quite get around like he used to. These days, he uses a stabilizer to help with balance. It even comes with his own little horn to clear the path as he rounds the curves. But he spent more time with family and friends getting hugs and taking selfies than on the skating floor. Soaking up the moment, hoping he never wakes up from a dream that most of us will never know.
This is about the greatest night in my life.
Party like your Gene. That's it for us. I hope you smiled this half hour. The Good Side, real stories that inspire, uplift, and remind us that even in the tough times, there's always another side, the good side. We'll see you back here next week. Have a great day.